greetings and welcome. This is the Necromancer channel. I am Necromancer, and joining me is Jimmy Dingleberry. How are we doing?
Jimmy D is doing well. Dingleberries are hanging nicely. Thank you.
I would have to say that we're doing extremely well after this episode. Wow. If there was any doubt before, Star Trek is back. Finally.
Oh. You know how I feel? I feel kind of like the girl in the bottom of Buffalo Bill's basement. Puts the lotion in the basket. Really? Puts the lotion on its skin or it gets the hose again. I feel like that girl. I feel like I've been tortured and I've been maimed and mistreated, but there is a slight slim chance of rescue. I don't even remember. Did she get rescued in the movie?
Yeah, she does.
She gets rescued. So I kind of feel like that. Like I've been rescued, but I don't know if it's going to happen again.
That's true. So we are a bit shell shocked.
Yeah.
You know, it's difficult to have the power of hope, right?
It is. It's just going to be dashed against the rocks. You know, when the evil eye of Kurtzman ends up back on Star Trek because, oh, look, Star Trek is successful again.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly. So this was finally the Star Trek that he should have been doing years ago. Yeah. With this scrappery. Never mind Picard.
Yeah.
So season 1 and season 2 should have been like this to start with.
Yes. Okay. Spoiler-free review. What do you say?
Spoiler-free review. Definitely see this episode. Absolutely see this episode. Enjoy it for what it is on its own. Now, it is kind of a plot development episode, really.
Oh, massively, right?
But well worth it. Well worth my time. I'm coming back to see this one again. I'm not erasing it right away.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with you. It starts off a little slow, but then the plot twist immediately after we get the splash page, the Picard page, just unexpected. I did not expect it to go this way at all. And how they've written this episode, again, comes completely out of left field. Not something you would ever expect from the entity that we are dealing with that is inside Jack's mind. And they link it up very nicely with one of the best episodes of Trek we've ever seen.
Yeah. So really, at the end of our no spoiler review, Star Trek do what Star Wars don't.
Sure, exactly, right? Gosh, wouldn't it have been great if we had gotten on Luke and Leia on the in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon?
And right? I wouldn't care if it were the Winter Soldier actor and someone else who could play Leia well enough. And some other guy, even if it is Leo DiCaprio's brother, playing Han. Was he horrible as Han? No, he wasn't horrible. He wasn't great.
Yeah,
maybe they could get someone else who'd be a bit better. But if he's what we're stuck with for playing Han, you could do worse.
You can recast, right?
Yeah,
you can recast.
I mean, the fellow they had for Lando was perfect. That was Lando, all right.
What's his, Gambino? What's his? He was really good in Community. Oh gosh,
that was Lando, all right.
Childish Gambino. He's the actor who did the Predator 2 movie.
Oh, Glover.
Yeah. Sorry, Danny Glover. That's right. This is his son.
Oh well, fantastic. He's absolutely channeling Billy D. Williams. It's fantastic. But that's it for the non-spoilers for Star Trek. So for those of you who haven't seen it, stop this video, go watch it, and then come back. Don't spoil it with us. You're better to watch it on your own.
Spoiler alert, everybody. If you don't want the spoilers, it's time to leave.
Yeah. All right. Those of you who stick around, hey, it's on your own head. Now, if we're ready now, then I'm going to start swearing here. So
I think so.
You should not be watching this in the first place.
Do we want this scene?
What can I tell you? My honest opinion of this, despite stupid fucking hideout And despite Alex fucking Turdsman, the shit for brains, we have the power of hope. That's my review for the episode, man.
That's it.
Yep.
How good is
So
this?
we've got them opening the red door and a little bit of mystery here.
Yeah.
I wasn't too surprised. I didn't think it was them, first of all, but they were number 2 on the list. The bad guy.
Okay, so first we thought it was changelings, right?
Or something very similar, or some kind of alien entity.
Like evolved changelings, or like changeling superior. That's what I thought. I did not think it would be who it is.
I didn't primarily think it would be who it is, which we can't really review this without saying. Definitely the Borg. I had thought at the time, well, how does Picard pass on any Borg to his offspring if they've got such advanced medical scanners? Yeah. And the way they got around it, very nicely done. Kudos. That can't be the freaking stupid hideout story group, because the person who wrote this actually understands a little bit of science and can actually pull off just enough of the wool over your eyes. For those of you who have a basic understanding of science, it works well enough. What the hell? It wouldn't stand up under close scrutiny, but this is Star Trek. We're not here for close scrutiny. We're here to enjoy ourselves. Yeah. Okay? When you do something stupid, like the Enturd prize of JJ Jerk being unable to escape a black hole by going to warp speed, but a sublight explosion pushing them away from it, the exact opposite of how you would escape a black hole. Yeah. No, that's going to piss off people who understand science.
Yeah.
Okay. Different thing.
I like how they talked about using the transporters to kind of, I guess, inject. What would be the right to rewrite your DNA so that you would become an organic Borg?
Include a little bit of extra genetics in there. It's some pretty good story writing, and Trek has often done this, of including some modern insecurities and some modern concerns of their target audience.
What could you possibly be talking about?
Ooh, what could we be talking about indeed?
Spike proteins?
Could be. It could be the virus of unknown and unspecified origin.
That's right, unknown.
Big tip of the hat to the critical drinker for calling it that.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Exactly. Along with the human genome has got a lot of virus junk in it over millennia and probably millions of years with our own ancestors. Yeah. Which were not human. Genetics that we include. Yeah. So that's the idea. Here's a little bit of extra genetic packaging. But presumably the scanners, even in the 23rd century, never mind the 24th, and I think this is the 25th by now, should be easily able to determine and choose out, but then your story would fall apart. It's not that bad of a violation, like the stupid black hole violation.
Furthermore, it's the Borg
2009 movie. Yeah.
It's the Borg. And if the Borg are doing it, they're supposed to be superior when it comes to coding and adaptation. So you would expect that their computer savviness would allow them to kind of hide it in a little corner and make it, stealth cloak it inside the computer and make it more difficult to see or to spot.
That was the thing about the Borg. When they first appeared, they were frighteningly vicious. They were quite scary as an adversary because they were a hive mind. That means that as a group, they had a huge advantage over individual humans who were not Neuralinked. And there's another concern of today that's being put in here, the so-called Neuralink, which Jack Crusher refers to a number of times and is referred to a few times, how you have one voice. Perhaps when we're all Neuralinked, we will have a lot more of one voice and a lot less of individuality. It's a tough call, especially for people of my age and Jimmy Dingleberry's age. We've spent decades being individuals. What if all of a sudden our thoughts are not only pushed to conform to the group, but enforced to conform to the group if we put in a Neuralink? And if we don't put in a Neuralink, we're anachronistic dinosaurs from the 20th century who might as well die and turn into dust because modern humans don't want us. Existential crises.
You can pry my freedom from my cold dead hands. That's all I got
That's
to say.
the point. They'll be very happy for your hands to be cold and dead.
Yeah, and eat bugs. Yeah, it is a concern. Anyway, I do like how they. First off, how you've spotted this throughout the episode. I did see a few things, so I did notice, like you said before, with the transporter kind of inoculating, let's say, anybody under the age of 25, whether they like it or not. If they use transporters, they're automatically rewritten. Yeah.
From what I understand, everybody's carrying it, but only if you're only under 25. Your prefrontal cortex, the thinking part of your brain, is still growing until about 25 years old, which is actually very accurately, closely true. Maybe a specialist could give you a few caveats, but that's basically correct.
Yeah.
So, young men, and especially young girls, you don't know what you want until you're 25, for sure. That's when your brain settles down. So
some people even saying 40. Well, some people with their gender identity are even saying 40 years old, they can still be fooled.
That could be
what's going on.
Generally, if you have relationships before the age of 25, some of them will last, sure, but don't expect them to. Don't be so heartbroken when they don't.
Yeah. So I kudos to you for catching the Neuralink, because I did not catch that, but I did catch the autonomous vehicles. So first off, Jack here is off to see the Borg Queen, and I thought it was really cool how he takes control of these two security officers. So I guess because they've already been through the transporter, he's able to take care of their rewritten Borg genetics, and he just takes them over, and he's using them as an escort. So he disappears, gets in a shuttle, and goes off to see the Borg Queen. The Enterprise crew decides that, or not the Enterprise crew. Yeah, I guess the Enterprise crew, along with Captain Shaw, Captain Pashaw, they decide it's time to, we better go tell the Federation. We figured out what's going on. We better go tell the Federation.
Now, I wondered how much of this was actually Jack's own volition, and how much of it is commanded by the hidden Borg inclusion.
Pre-written. Sure. Yeah. Well, that's another question when we have the Neuralink. What's going to be the motivating factor behind our behavior? Is it going to be our limbic system? Is it going to be logic, our pre-ingrained habits? Or is it going to be the chip?
And there's a tough call, man, because there's a lot of things I have from my limbic system that I would love to expunge.
Yeah, same. I'd like to get rid of the laziness. Any day of the week, let's get rid of that laziness.
Oh, yeah.
I would rather endeavor. Oh, do we remember her?
Oh, boy.
Shelby. So she was in the Best of Both Worlds, part 1 and 2, wasn't she?
Yeah.
She was supposed to take over. Yeah.
But she looked okay. Far be for me to say this. I really shouldn't be saying this, but oh my God, she has changed. What a pity.
Well, everybody gets older. Everybody walks the same road, and you just accept it.
Her road has been a lot more rocky than some others.
I think that women have a really tough time of it. I really do.
Have to agree.
In Hollywood especially, they have a really rough time of it. Jerry Ryan is an outstanding outlier. When you look at most
quite honestly, it shouldn't be that way. It should be the other way around. Women have enough of a hard time having children. They shouldn't be the ones to get the short end of the stick that way.
Yeah. So look, when I see a woman like this, I try to look past the superficial. You can't criticize too much. So it was really nice to see her. They gave her a speech, and then we see the Enterprise F.
The Enterprise Fuck off.
From the front, I did not like the look of this Enterprise F off.
I think they might be taking some of these designs from the Star Trek Online game, because that looks a lot like what you see on there. Fine, if you want to save some money by using designs you already have, you're perfectly welcome to it. Sure. Do I care about this Enterprise F? Not really.
You know what I care about? I care about how you get fireworks in space.
Yeah. I suppose you could, but there was one firework in front of the Enterprise F that looked like it was blown up in atmosphere. It looked that way. It looked like the wind was carrying it. So, yeah, you could be a bit more careful with that. But you know what? You could give it a pass. Fine, they have a new Enterprise with a space dock that no matter which Enterprise is coming out of it, it just fits through the doors.
They build custom doors on every side of the... Yeah.
They must.
See all these lights?
The NCC 1701, it just gets out of space dock doors. The Enterprise D, it just fits through the doors. Yeah. Enterprise F here just fits through. So
new doors every time.
That's just a little thing that I have with that. But there you go. What the hell?
I do not like the front view, but I thought it was going to be a short, fat, squat thing. But then it turns and you get a real change of perspective. I think it's a really gorgeous ship, but I don't like these bits up the side. I don't really like that.
The necks? Yeah. Got two necks on the sides. That's fine.
Bit strange.
It's fine. Shelby, Admiral Shelby, she's fine. What you don't need to do is pause and focus on Admiral Shelby for a few moments to show everybody, ho, 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 a woman's in charge. No.
Yeah.
Just make her do her thing organically. You don't have to pause on her and look at her and oh yes, everybody bow because it's a woman in charge. That's what you're trying to pull.
I don't know if they're trying to pull that. Or if they're trying to pull, I mean, who else is left from the next generation that could be in a position like that?
It's fine. It doesn't matter who the person is. The point is that they're doing it to show that the woman is in charge. They pulled the same stunt with Michelle Forbes. Don't give a pause and look at the person and everybody looks, oh, you better look in silence because she is in charge. No. If you have to say that she's in charge, it takes away from her being in charge.
Furthermore, she's an admiral. Why is she sitting in the command seat of a starship?
There is that too, but if she's in charge, it should just be matter of fact. Don't belabor the fact because that doesn't make it stronger. It makes it stronger when you don't belabor the fact. Okay, you don't have to have her stand there for a half second.
No. The other cautionary tale that I took from this episode is, again, we mentioned it last time, was autonomous automobiles. All right. Do you want your vehicle to be able to be controlled by an outside force? And that's what happens here. So all these ships are linked together and they're talking to each other and they are able to maintain separation and maintain formation and changes in inertia and changes in acceleration with each other. The problem is that, of course, once you get to the point where you want to control your ship and get away from the group, you can't do it because guess what? The ship is doing it for you.
Mode. A little bit bizarre. Yeah.
Where's the override?
Are there advantages? Yes, there are advantages. Can you override it? You should be able to. You should be able to. Yeah. So why the hell can't you? There are a bunch of jackasses out there who I'd be quite happy if the police could take over their car, pull them the hell over, make them sit there, or even drive them to the police station. Guess where you're going? Yeah. Sit back and enjoy the ride. Yeah. But I don't know. Does it allow too much power into their hands? I really don't know. It's a lot like the Neuralink. Yeah. How much power do we want to give up? How much autonomy do we want to give up? Yeah, there should always be an override. You should always be able to, whether it's a circuit breaker or whatever, you should always be able to override the vehicle completely and just make it like a manual vehicle, no GPS, no nothing.
That's my opinion.
Yep, I think Will Smith did that in I, Robot.
Yeah. Because you know what? It's at one point the human makes better decisions than the robot. Maybe not for the greater good, but for the preservation of the human. I think.
For the moment.
Yep.
For now.
For now.
Yeah.
Again, not enough Jerry Ryan in this episode, but she's got some pretty cool moments down in the bowels and maintenance.
I agree. I mean, there were a few scenes where they were talking about Borg where they should have had her there to weigh in.
Yeah. Like all you see here is that she's affected by the Borg. Here, we'll just skip that part. Nothing too exciting there, but you see right here.
Yeah.
So she's struggling.
Fantastic acting.
Oh yeah, she's good. Well, she's had a kid, so she knows pain.
You believe she's got a splitting headache.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Look at that.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And Locutus is entirely unaffected. Well, that's because he has a golem body now.
Yeah. He's not. He doesn't even have the genetic coding anymore. I would say.
So I don't suppose he could hear the Borg anymore.
Yeah.
So be careful. I'm glad he didn't hear them in this episode. Hopefully they don't make that mistake in the next one. Yeah, Data was actually rather.
Yeah, it was a funny scene just there, wasn't it?
Rather funny. I hope he died quickly.
Can you be a little bit more positive? That was very good. Oh God, I don't mean to be so negative.
And Raffi Don't Care wasn't a don't care in this one. She was actually useful. She was actually pretty good, and she wasn't overblown. She wasn't super amazing. Nobody had to tell her what a fantastic, wonderful warrior she was. So, hey, great. Real Trek is back. And Shaw dies quite poignantly.
Heroically, and he's not an a-hole anymore when he's on the ground dying. He was an a-hole at the beginning of the episode, but, then finally, and he gives up the command of the Titan to Jerry Ryan, to 7 of 9. He says, it's your ship now.
7 of 9.
Yeah.
He calls her
Captain
by name.
7. Yeah. By the name she prefers. No dead naming Jerry Ryan, your mother. So then off they go, eh? Off they go.
Fantastic.
To the museum. I didn't know what they were going to do. Are they going to do the Defiant? Are they going to do an old Constitution class? Are they going to do something
would have made sense. And I said to myself, no, they can't actually take an original series Constitution class.
Gosh. That would have been good if they'd done that.
That would have been good too. Or what would have been the most apropos would have been the Klingon bird of prey from Star Trek 3 and Star Trek 4, which only takes half a dozen officers to run.
That's right. How are you going to run this ship? I mean, you used to have Geordi with a team of engineers in engineering running the bloody thing.
Yeah. So,
right? How are we going to run this ship?
It's a bit rough that we're going to ghost over that. I guess we could. I mean, Beverly controlled the ship herself, or at least a version of it, in an episode.
Yeah, it's a bit of a reach, man.
It is a bit of a reach.
You'd have to have Geordi. I think they should have had Geordi echo Scotty and say, a chimpanzee and 2 trainees could run her.
You know what? I wouldn't have been angry if they had recycled and plagiarized that quote. Because the whole episode is it's good. It's a good episode. Yeah. It's a good episode. Oh wow, lights.
Yeah, let's do the dark first.
You transition from dark to bright.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's turn the lights up.
Isn't it amazing when you turn lights on, you can see what you're doing. You don't pull your eyes out of their sockets. Terrific.
Jeez. Fantastic. How good is it? Hey.
Yeah, it's all dark and somber, and then someone loses their sight.
Yeah. Yeah, it was quite a nice reveal. When they turned the lights up, I expected it to be derelict and, dust and freaking plastic sheets on everything, but no. Geordi's been doing his work.
That is the Enterprise D saucer section, the original. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That got me in the feels, all right. This really got me in the feels. I really, really liked it.
And how they used the Prime Directive as an excuse to make it happen.
Yep. And we had a good 7 years of this bridge. Yep. Come on. Now, it may not be the original one. I really don't care if it's the museum exhibit one. It works for me. I've been on the museum exhibit one.
Have you?
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's moving. Well, it was a moving show when I went to see it. But
I see.
I mean, how big is the set? Hard to say. Was the museum exhibit smaller set than normal? I don't know. I really couldn't say.
Yeah.
It looked to be a decent size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I also like is how at the very beginning of this series, they were talking about how the D models weren't selling in the bar, right? And then what do we return to? The D model. Why? Because everybody loves a D. Jimmy D.
We never thought of that. What a good meaning.
And of course,
terrific.
We get the classic Picard.
Iconic. Engage.
Yeah.
Excellent.
You beauty.
And that's the end of the episode. But yeah, this episode does it for me. Quite good.
Same.
Very nicely done. I can't imagine that a moron like Turdsman had a hand in this. I can't imagine. Nobody had their eyes ripped out. Nobody vomited.
Yeah.
So
there was no swearing.
Nowhere near it. Oh, there wasn't.
Even after Pasha was shot. Like if I'm going to swear, that's when it's going to happen. It's going to happen after I get shot and I'm looking at the narrow end of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
That's when the cursing is going to start. And it ain't going to stop until the breathing stops. So well done in not getting any cursing out. And yeah, no disgusting. It's Trek. It's proper Trek. The question is this going to be the end? One more episode. So this is the penultimate episode, the second from last. Next week we have our finale. And we're going to say goodbye to the Enterprise crew. That's the intel that we've got. We're never going to see them again together. And that's fine by me too. And if they go out with a bang,
that would be perfect.
Yep. Yeah.
That would be absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
That's how heroes are supposed to end.
Yeah.
Now, hopefully, Strange New Worlds takes a lot of lessons from this.
Yeah. First off, in frickin' set design. Yeah. So too bloody big their ship.
Now, the Enterprise D, I was never crazy about the design, but it's so much better than what came after.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did like the lines of the E, but to see this baby here, yeah, that's very gratifying. To see an utter turd like the interred prize of JJ Jerk, to see that garbage discrappery, this is so much better. The D is so much better.
Yeah.
Now, what are they going to do with it? I don't know. I'll be very interested to see what their strategy is. A little bit foolish of Jack to go walking in on a Borg queen. Did he have no clue that she would be able to control him easily? Seems a bit bizarre. He should have walked aboard with a silent bomb activated. Silent antimatter bomb that would convert to just release the magnetic bottle on antimatter.
A bit silly for him to think that, he could go and hold his own against her.
With what looked with a lot of lines of the original series phaser.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say about 50% different from the original series phaser, but with some components from it that are definitely taken straight from it. So when you saw the back of the phaser, that's definitely an original series phaser. So yeah, nice. It would be better if it was entirely an original series phaser, but CBS has some ridiculous freaking deal of 25% different. Whatever moron thought that up.
Yeah.
Wound up costing the company a lot of money.
Les Moonves took over CBS, 15 years ago or something like that, 20 years ago. And he really could have done so much with Star Trek and didn't.
Yeah.
He really didn't.
That's not entirely, it's not entirely an original series phaser, but there are a lot of components that are.
Yeah, it's very similar. It really echoes the original series, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Les is the one who gave JJ all his free reign. And the reason why we're still putting up with this garbage is because he's the one who made the deal.
Wow.
He's the one who made the crappy deal. So if you want to point fingers at anybody, point at that rich bastard. Yeah.
But this is, I mean, I hope that, again, there's a slim hope, but I'm like the girl in the bottom of Buffalo Bill's basement after I've been rescued. Always looking over my shoulder from now on.
Yeah, I think we will be looking over our shoulder for a long time, especially with what's happening with Star Wars. It can go south just at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
So
it went south in one episode, basically.
Yeah.
Didn't it?
Good episode.
The rest of it was just confirmation.
Oh boy, yeah. Good episode in this case. Let's hope we have more of the same.
Yeah.
And with that, we will sign off for this review, and we're looking forward to the final episode of Picard.
Yeah, join us for that. So we'll be reviewing that episode as well. Please like, share, subscribe. Tell us what you thought about the episode below. We'd really like to get some other perspectives, especially somebody who doesn't like it. I'd like to get the opposite end of the spectrum, so to speak, and find out why people don't like it. Please back up what you say in the comments.
Yes, and don't just play devil's advocate. You have to actually not like it.
Have an argument.
Yeah,
sure.
By all means. And with that, we sign off.
Okay, we'll catch you next week.
Live long and prosper.